Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Season 2, Episode 6, Vigor, the Visionary. Yeah, this is the first stream right here, Lord Haramont, that has that new option in. There's a monkey. I hate monkeys, of course. Gotta hate monkeys. So they're going out on a date. They mentioned they have the entire day to themselves. Didn't they just have a whole episode about not wanting to waste time delaying the trip too much because of, they're going on Destiny and how Cassandra's getting irritable about that? Was that not? Okay, moving on. So then they head out and they hear chimes in the forest immediately after having to deal with weird, creepy stuff in the middle of the exact same forest. I'm starting to think they didn't have a continuity director on this show. Actually, yeah, this episode feels like it should have been before the previous one. Now that you're saying that, I think I agree with that. But anyways, so then they say they see Madame Canardist. Okay. Wow. I don't like to comment on stereotypical caricatures, especially in a Disney work. But wow, that's problematic at best. Is the nicest possible way I could say that. We're just gonna walk over that, acknowledge the giant elephant over there in the room, and then we're gonna move on because Jesus Christ. This is right up there with what makes a red man red. Holy crap. Anyway, so small attentions to detail in this episode. Yeah, I started writing down small individual animation details because the animation of the show continues to be amazing. There's this bit where she's holding up... Do you not know about that, Mr. Red? Go YouTube it. Go ahead, I'll wait. I won't actually wait, but you don't need to listen to me. So there's this little bit where she does this thing with her hands just like this. It's really small, but she does this little thing with her hands. Oh, there's this bit when the woman hits a symbol and Rapunzel just starts slightly when she hits it. Very, very, very minute details, the kind of things I tend to eat up. And I've decided I'm going to start writing down some of those little touches just like I did back in MLP because they're really good. Yeah. So Rapunzel believes because it's fun. And Eugene doesn't believe because, obvious reasons. So they put on a show, as is the norm, and she gets her fortune. And her fortune is, if you see someone fall, pick them up. That's literally fortune cookie level of nonsense. If you're in the middle of something, keep trying. Like, wait, what? No information is being conveyed here. And that's, of course, how a lot of real-life psychics actually operate, is they will give extraordinarily vague statements which are custom-tailored, to be the kind of thing that you can dovetail into whatever you want to make it make as much sense as you feel like it, because obviously they're charlatans. Or, at the absolute best, they're just putting on a show. So, yay. One moment, please. That's a hell of a laundry list, that 040. Elder Scrolls 6, which is almost guaranteed to be a train wreck. Dragon Age 4, which is almost guaranteed to be a train wreck. And Cyberpunk, which has already been a train wreck. I'm sensing a trend here, 040. Either way, thank you for the sub, as I always do. Appreciate you. So, cool. There's this wonderful little bit where Rapunzel says, yeah, it's probably a trick, but what if it isn't a trick? I'm reminded of Mr. Red, because Mr. Red likes to ask, he's a viewer of mine, cool guy. He does this thing periodically where he'll say, what if StarCraft 2 actually rates as one of the worst games ever? Or what if it turns out Kingsfield 4 is actually at the top of the golden number? Or what if some other extremely unlikely situation? And it's one of those interesting things, isn't it? I'm going to go down the rabbit hole here just a little bit. Because the power of the what if scenario is exactly that. I mean, nobody really likes realistic what if scenarios, right? Only weird historian geeks like me actually like realistic like what if scenarios. No, we like wild what ifs. Like, for example, what if Starfield is like one of the best scoring games that I've ever covered, right? There's no way. There was never going to be any way. It was never possible, and it was never in the cards, right? Yeah, what if Donkey Kong Country Show has a purple episode? It's not going to happen. But it's interesting to think about. So I'm not actually dissing Mr. Red, or indeed anybody who thinks like that. That's not the point, because it's an interesting idea, specifically because of the fact that it's so unrealistic, right? It's so unwieldy and so wild that the whole point is the fact that it would be such a jarring alteration to the status quo, to the point where someone would have to just kind of go cha-kong and Q-snap the reality in order to make it happen. But we don't care about how it happens, only that it did, and that it's this wild, crazy thing. So what if this stupid monkey and this extremely racist caricature are actually psychics and actually can tell the future? Oh my god, what if? It doesn't matter how unreasonable it is. That's not the fun of it. And a lot of the episode ties around that very concept, the desire to believe in that kind of thing because it's fun, because it's interesting, and there's actually nothing wrong with that within reason. As long as you're not willing to really get suckered into actually believing any of this crap, then it's fine, right? You walk into the show, and you walk into a psychic show, you're going in for a psychic show. It's entertainment, right? That's part of the fun. That's part of the enjoyment. There are exceptions to that, of course. There are some people, especially on the psychic things, who are just straight up con artists. And there are many, many tricks that have been well trod and well studied over many years in order to try and make this kind of thing work. To try and, I mean, cold reading is a thing, for God's sakes, but we've known about cold reading for decades. We've gone past cold reading. At this point, we have lots of ways to trick people and try to rip money out of them as hard and as fast as possible. And trust me, it's rampant. So, yeah, no, this is a whole thing, and those people deserve to die and go to hell. But yeah, we've also had legal cases about this crap because this is well-trod ground. But that's why I've been keeping this in the realm of it's just something you're doing for fun. And this woman and her monkey feel more like, yeah, we're just doing this for fun. And it's possible that the monkey is actually psychic. This is a magical, fantastical setting. We did just have a teapot that generated people and also bird-altering, egg-laying shorties, which is still the weirdest thing in that episode. So it's not like it's unfeasible, right? And that's kind of the point, is that it doesn't really matter if it's feasible or not. All that matters is your attitude on the matter. Skepticism, or the opposite. And I wanted to talk about that briefly too, because Eugene is obviously the skeptic of this episode. But I want to give the episode credit for the fact that it remembers that being a skeptic doesn't mean not believing. I know that sounds strange, because that's what fiction tends to misremember the word as. Skepticism, or being a skeptic, means, bear with me, being skeptical. It means wanting some kind of evidence or resources or questioning things or being like, all right, that could be true, but yeah, exactly. It's all about questioning the facts at hand and then trying to determine if it's real or not. Being a skeptic is not actually the opposite of being a believer. It is a step on the path to becoming a believer, or consequently not, because, you know, some things don't hold up, obviously. And it's interesting that the episode does do a good job of showcasing that, especially since it does tie in immediately to the connection with Angry and Red story. By the way, it was nice to see them again. So they stole a monkey, and I love this because in my notes I actually said, oh, it's Angry and Red. Why did they steal a monkey? And then immediately after this, and I do mean immediately after this, they say, if you're going to go out, why are you stealing a monkey? Thank you, Eugene. Thank you. She also only charged them 1 silver. I find that rather amusing. Can I just say I love the freeze frame animation sequence as they're doing the narration? This show has such good animation, it actually irritates me. That's not a joke. It irritates me how good the gameplay axis of this show is. It's bizarre. Like, they keep doing... It's not even just, like, quality. It's not just fidelity. They keep doing interesting, fun, dynamic, directorial choices that just make it even more interesting and good than it already is. damn it show. So, so what if the monkey is legit? This is when I actually put my note about the skeptics thing, so we're just going to scooch past this a little bit. Really, Mr. Red? Interesting. So we're going to skip forward a little bit. They find out that there's these thieves nearby, and they stole them stuff, including a mahogany piccolo. Then there's a yawn, and then they would go to, they go to the sting, and then there's the people. Oh, our long lost daughter, who even by total coincidence looks vaguely like us. This is interesting. This little moment here. It's only like 2 minutes long, but this little moment is exactly why it's so dangerous to believe too much in this kind of stuff. Like, going to a psychic show just for fun, having fun. Ooh, oh, I believe. You know, that's fun. It's like getting on a roller coaster, right? You don't actually think you're going to go plummeting off the edge. You're kind of tricking your body and your mind into thinking that so you get the enjoyment of it from a perspective of safety, right? It's a ride. So, yeah. But then it turns out there are these robbers who are going to kidnap or kill these kids. That's not cool. That is exactly why you do need skepticism. That's exactly why you need to have that moment of, hold on a second. And you'll notice that Eugene was completely on board with it because just like the others, he wanted to believe. And Angry was so happy to finally find her mother that it makes sense that they would just kind of go along with that. But, and again, I give the episode credit, Eugene puts this together very, very quickly, immediately turns around, and unfortunately doesn't make it because of that stupid bridge. By the way, I've been wondering why this stupid bridge was here, like ever since it first showed up. Here we are, there's your reason. It's so he could plummet into the snake ravine. Why do they have a ravine just filled with snakes? Whatever. So then we have what is functionally our action sequence. And of course we get the big reveal. Try to be shocked, they're not actually their parents. Dun, dun, dun. So action sequence, move forward. Scroll down a little bit here. Is this kind of it? Rapunzel fulfills on her particular prophecy. If you see someone fall, wah wah. And then I just burst out laughing. Real talk. Because they're rushing in there and they're desperately trying to save them, and yeah, no. The thieves are completely tied up and hog-tied, I think it is the specific thing. And yeah, that's great. No threat. Just, we got them. Nuked. Moving on. And after all, that works. Because this isn't a threat episode. This is a character piece. And yeah, we've got found family and that dovetailed theme that I accidentally referenced earlier. Skepticism and wanting to believe. Again, there's nothing wrong with believing within reason, with having fun with it, like Rapunzel was doing. But when you believe too hard and are willing to be too blind to things, bad things can happen, just like with Angry. And this then ties into the skepticism thing. You've got to be healthily skeptical, but at the same time, when the proof has been made, you need to go ahead and be like, yeah, okay. And it's nice how it ties those both in to Angry, reaching out to Red and having her chosen family, which is awesome. And then the monkey gives this weird last look at Eugene at the end of the episode. Did you catch that? And then nothing happened. I even rewound the scene because I was actually really weirded out by that and thought maybe I missed something. But no, the monkey just looks at Eugene weird, and then Eugene's like, huh. And then they go off. The end. Anyways, a single hand bridge in television didn't break at some point. No. So, well, there's some... Like, I'm just going to say this. This episode should be read, and it isn't. It isn't because of the severe and flagrant racism on display. I'm sorry, there's nothing else I can add to that. I don't know what else to go down on that particular hole. Madame Canardist is awful. And like, wow. But the rest of the episode is pretty solid. Like I said, it's the territory of red. It's just dragged down by that weird stain over there in the corner, which a certain individual, and you know who it is, has defended more than once. So, orange. Pretty solidly dragged down to orange. But solid episode, and the kind of episode I really enjoyed. And, by the way, this is actually a good episode to compare immediately alongside Freebird, because just like Freebird, this is a side quest. But unlike Freebird, there's something happening. There's character significance, and there's plot significance. There's a little bit of continuity in there. There's a thematic core which dovetails both plots that are going throughout the course of the episode. It's good stuff. Next episode is Keeper of the Spire. Now I'm going to start playing a game here. Season 1 was slice of life, 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 until we got to episode 16, at which point the plot started. Then there was another, like, slice of life episode, and then another slice of life episode, and then plot, plot, plot. Based on that, I think we have the X-Files thing going on. There's your everyday episodes, and then there's your plot episodes, right? That was, for those of you not aware, that was actually a specific format back on the X-Files. They called them the Monster of the Week episodes and the Central episodes. So, do you think Keeper of the Spire is going to be a Central episode or a Monster of the Week episode? Based on our pattern so far, I'm going to assume Monster of the Week. I think it's going to not have anything to do with anything at all. And in fact, I think we're going to follow the same general pattern that Season 1 did. It's going to be all the way down to, honestly, probably, if we're following the same pattern, somewhere around Rapunzel-topia-ish. You know, so that's 3 episodes before the end, which that's probably where the plot's going to get. But that's my prediction right now, in total absence of knowledge. I should mention that other than the thing that I've already told you, which is the Varian thing. Oh, by the way, Varian's not in this episode. I'm past all knowledge at this point of the show. I don't know anything. So, we'll see in about 23 minutes.